All right, welcome everyone. As we see what's going on over here. Okay, we are sponsored in our tour through Shavuos by A.B. Spry, who is sponsoring. See why this isn't going. We don't want that. What is going on over here? We're sponsored by A.B. Spry for this for Shalem of Tabor Reis Bas Hinda and for great zivugim for their daughter and grandchildren. We're sponsored by Shelley Zeitlin. Okay, let's get this going here. View. Okay, I don't know why that's over here. For Shelley's wonderful children, Eli, Orit, and Ora, for my Refuah, my Shmeir ben Esther Fadel, and for Shimon ben Sarah Miriam, should have Refuah Shalem and B'Seich Shar Chil Yisrael. And we also sponsored anonymously for the spiritual, emotional, and physical protection for Yeshua Menachem Mendel, Ben Mela, Shendel, Rivka. We are ahead as we start the new Mishnah on Daf Chafei Amud Aleph. New Mishnah on Daf Chafei Amud Aleph. Echad Devar Mishal Atzmai. One can swear about himself, and Echad Devar Mishal Achem. He could swear about others. So, for example, I could swear that Marshall ate yesterday, or he didn't eat. I could swear about tangible things. I could swear about intangibles. That means I could swear that I'll sleep or I won't sleep. Ketzad. Amar shvua she'etein le'ish ploni. I could swear that I will give something to Marshall. V'shaloyetein, or I won't give something to him. Shenasati, I could swear that I gave something to him, or v'shaloy nasati, or that I didn't give something to him. Now, what about intangibles? I could swear she'ishan, that I will sleep, or v'shaloyishan, that I won't sleep. She'ashanti, that I slept, v'shaloyashanti. I could also swear about things that have no worth. I could swear she'ezrik tzra liyam, that I will throw a stone into the water, or v'shalay ezrik, I won't throw. I could swear she'zarakti, that I threw a stone into the water, v'shalay zarakti. So I could swear about things that have no significance. Rabbi Shmuel says, now here Rabbi Shmuel says something basic. Since it says in the pasuk lohara o lahetiv, in the future, Rabbi Shmuel holds that oaths in the past don't make you chayiv a carbon. Rabbi Shmuel ain't chayiv elalo asid lavai. You only chayiv for the future. Shenema lohara o lahetiv, to do negative or to do positive. Rabbi Kiva says no, it's not so. Abalei Rabbi Kiva. Im kain ein li ela dvarim sheyesh b'hem hara v'atava. Then we could only include Shavuos that have something either negative or positive. Right? Throwing a stone in the water, which is neither negative or positive, would not be included. Dvarim she'ein ben hara v'atava minayin, something that's not a negative or a positive, how do you know? Amalai, the Rabbanan say to Rabbi Kiva, I know that miribu yakosef. I know that from the fact that it says, L'chol asher yivate b'svasayim. Anything that you utter with your lips, so that's a riboy. Amalai im riba akosef l'kach, if the Torah is including even something that's not a negative and a positive, it's also including something, riba akosef l'kach, it's also including something in the past. And now we're going to welcome in Irving Fishbaum, Eddie Chazan, Marshall Castle, welcome back, Saba, Ruvain Pollack, Dr. Udell, Dr. Guy, Barry Cement, Shimon Klein, Shalom Fogel, Baruch Ian. I think that's Menachem Yamansky. Yeah, Menachem Yamansky, Shelley Zeitlin, Nachman Chapler, Shimon. I forgot your name for a second. Dov Solkowitz, Yaakov Warman, Michal, Rabbi Kranz, Dr. Block, Stephen Holtzman, Yeshua Shmuel, Eisenberg, Yitzi Mullen, Naftali Jamblan, Abe Arbach. You're standing in front of the Kaisel.
Yitzi Fuchs, Rabbi.
Yeah, Yitzi Fuchs, I'm sorry. Must be a little.
I swear, Yitzi, I could forget you.
I can't forget him, but I must be very tired. Yitzi Fuchs. Who is Eliezer Shlomo ben Yosef Mordechai?
He was a very good friend of mine he left us too soon, unfortunately.
What was his name?
Eli Rosenbusch from Brooklyn.
Shama should have an aliyah. Over here, we also welcome David Helfgott and Kol Lashin. And here in Shul, we welcome Berish Gesseman, Rabbi Avram Rezepkowitz, Michal Avram Chavin, and Ruvain Shannon. We're starting at the new Gemara on Daf Chafei Amud Aleph. Okay, so this is... Remember that Nidarim is an Isser Chefza and Shavuos is an Isser Gavra. I already explained that to you. When you make a neder, you're putting the Isser neder on the kikar, on the loaf. Kikars are like a carbon. When you make a Shavuot, you're putting the Isser on yourself. A Shavuot that I won't eat the loaf. So Shavuot is an Isser Gavra, and Nadarim is an Isser Chefza. With this in mind, the next Gemara follows very simple. There's a chumrah of vows over Shavuos. V'chaymer b'Shavuos me'Nadarim. Chaymer b'Nadarim she'Nadarim chalon al dvar mitzvah k'dvar rishus. Nadarim could be chal on a dvar mitzvah like a rishus. In other words, you could say, Kainim tefillin ze alai. These tefillin should be forbidden to me, because you're putting the Isser on the tefillin. But, Ma'ashein came b'shvua. You cannot say that I swear that I won't put on tefillin, because your body is commanded to put on tefillin. So you cannot be nishba levatal es mitzvah. You can't swear. You could put an Isser on the tefillin itself, that you're not going to wear it. But you can't say that your body won't put on tefillin because your body is commanded from the Torah, and you can't be nishba levatal es mitzvah. On the other hand, chaimish b'shvuos shashvuos chalus al davar she'ein by mamish kedavar sheyesh by mamish. A shvuah could be chal on something intangible. You could swear that you're not going to sleep. But ma'ashein came in a dam. You can't put a kainim. You can't say kainim sleep alai. You can't put a kainim on sleep, because you need to have something tangible to put the Isser on. And therefore, you cannot put it on something that's intangible. Now, the Mishnah continues that you can make a neder that applies to Marshal. Ketzad? If you swear that you'll give something to marshal, or you won't give something, so that shvuah is chal. Now, the question is, what does it mean that you'll give to marshal? If marshal is a poor man, then you have a mitzvah of tzedakah, of nasain titain. And once it's a mitzvah, you're mushba me'ar Sinai. Then your shvuah will not be chal, because ain't shvuah chal shvuah. Ma'yatin ilay tzedakah la'ani. The mitzvah of giving tzedakah to an ani is a mitzvah of the Torah. Then you're mushba v'ayimei b'ar Sinai. Then you already commanded, and we said that ain't shvuah chal shvuah. Mushba ma'ibin b'ar Sinai, shenemar nasan titain lai. Ela means that marshal is rich. And if you swear you're giving it to him, that's not a mitzvah. You want alamatana la'asher, that's why the shvuah is chal. She'ishan v'shalayishan. If you swear that you will sleep or you won't sleep. Now, it sounds like you're swearing you won't sleep indefinitely. And we're calling that a shvuas bitui. But if you swear that you won't sleep indefinitely, then that's a shvuah shav, a vain oath, because a person cannot go 3 days without sleeping. If somebody says he won't sleep for 3 days, malkin oisai, you give him malchus because it's a vain oath, v'yashin alter, and then he could sleep right away. That's like swearing that the sun is the moon and a man is a woman. Says the Gemara, Hasam Damar Gimel. There he says 3 days. So that's an immediate vain oath. Hacha Delayamar Gimel. When he says he swears he won't sleep, in other words, he swears that he won't sleep as long as he can. And that shvuah is chal.
That was the over that shvuah.
What?
But I'm going to stay up as long as I can.
Yeah, so
that
then,
was the over.
yeah, he's over by not trying and going to sleep right away. Now,
Okay.
she'ezrek tzro liyam v'shelo yezrek. So now here's an interesting case. Itmar, shvuah shezorak ploini tzro liyam. If I swear that Marshall threw a rock in the sea, or v'sheloi zarak, or Marshall didn't throw a rock in the sea, Rav Amachayev. Rav says I'm chayev. In other words, if I swear falsely, I'm chayev. Shmuel says I'm not chayev, because Shmuel says that you have to be able. The only time you're going to be chayev a carbon is only when you could structure the oath both in the past and in the future. Now, I cannot swear that Marshall will throw a stone in the yam or won't throw a stone in the yam because that's not within my power. So Shmuel says, since this can't be constructed in the future, it's not considered a shvuah in the past, even though in the past it is effective. Because I could say that Marshall threw it or didn't throw it. V'shmuel amapater, Rav amachayev, Rav says chayev, isei b'lav v'hein. He holds that it just has to be possible in the negative or the positive. B'hara or l'hetiv. So I could swear that Marshall threw it or Marshall didn't throw it. V'shmuel amapater, because leisei b'haba. Since it can't be constructed in the future, I can't swear that Marshall will throw or won't throw because that's not within my power. So therefore, Shmuel holds you're not chayiv even on the shvuah in the past, since you wouldn't be able to do it in the future. So the Gemara says this of whether it has to be that you're only chayiv a carbon if the shvuah could be constructed both in the past and in the future. Lema b'plukta Rabbi Yishmael v'Rabbi Kiva kamifli. Now this is going to take us back to Rabbi Yishmael, who says that you're only chayiv with a shvuah in the future. You're not chayiv with a shvuah in the past at all. So says the Gemara, Lema b'plukta Rabbi Yishmael v'Rabbi Kiva kamifli. That non Rabbi Yishmael Leimer ain't a chayiv ela ala asid lavai. you're only chayiv for a shvua in the future, shenema lahara o lehitiv, either to do bad or to do good. And now Taisus explains that at this juncture, the Gemara is thinking that the reason why Shmuel said that you're not chayiv for my saying Marshall threw it or didn't throw it is because it's going according to Rabbi Yishmael. Shmuel holds like Rabbi Yishmael that you're not chayiv for in the past. And that which the Gemara said a reason for Shmuel because it can't be constructed in the future, that was only the Gemara's reason. But the Gemara wants to say maybe it's simply that Shmuel holds like Rabbi Yishmael that you're not chayiv anything in the past. Amalei Rabbi Kiva, so Rabbi Kiva counted to Rabbi Yishmael. Im Kain, if you say that when it says in the Torah lahara lehitiv it's dafka only in the future, ainli ala dvarim sheyesh b'mara v'atava. That's only things that are actually bad or good. Dvarim she'ein b'mara v'atava, things that are not bad or not good, like throwing a stone in the water. Minayin, how do you know? Amalei miribi akas, because it says l'chol asher yavate b'svasayim, anything that you utter. Amalei imriba akas of lekach, if the Torah includes anything that you utter, riba akas of lekach, it also includes also something in the past. So Rav Damak Rabbi Kiva, Rav says that I'm chayiv if I say that Marshall threw it or didn't throw it in the past, that's going according to Rabbi Kiva. V'Shmuel Damak Rabbi Shmuel says no. I'll leave it to Rabbi Shmuel. According to Rabbi Shmuel, everybody holds that you're not chayiv if you say it something in the past. Kuli Amalei Pligi. Hashta Milsa the Isei Balahaba. Even if something can be constructed in the future, where I said I swear that I didn't eat, which can be constructed in the future, I will eat. Loi mechayiv ala Rabbi Yishmael. Rabbi Yishmael says you're not chayiv because you're not chayiv for something in the past. L'sha'aver milsa l'leisa baba, here where it's not possible to construct it in the future. Maboy ki pligi alibri Rabbi Kiva. The argument is going according to Rabbi Kiva, who holds that you are chayiv for something in the past. So Rav Rabbi Kiva, Rav holds like Rabbi Kiva, and therefore when I swear that Marshall threw it or didn't throw it, I'm going to be chayiv. V'Shmuel Amar ad kan lo mechayiv Rabbi Kiva asam l'sha'avar, for the past elamilsa de isei balaba, something that could be constructed in the future. Mechayiv Rabbi Kiva l'sha'avar. Rabbi Kiva agrees you're chayiv if it's in the past. So if I swore that Marshall ate or that I ate, I'm chayiv. Since I could construct it and say, if I swore that I ate, I'm chayiv, since you could construct it and say that I will eat. But over here, avomide delay say bahalba, if I swore that Marshall threw it, I can't swear that Marshall will throw it because I can't swear about something that's not within my control. Like, so now the Gemara wants to say it's dependent on another machlokes. Lema. Beplukta, Rabbi Yehuda members say Rav Rabbanan Kemiflagi. It's interesting to note that we are holding now at more than, we're starting the second half already of this Masechta. So we are on the way of finishing a challenging Masechta. Let us say that it's dependent on the machlokes Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Meseira and the Rabbanan. The Tanan. Let's see. We need somebody over here. You know what? He went on vacation, so he came back full of mischief. So Marshall, anyway, Barry needs a little rest. He's really beaten up. And Marshall just drank Coca-Cola.
I feel bad for him.
Yeah, well, he's thinking about going to Charleston.
Well, my heart's bleeding beat for him.
Yeah, but he'll take his computer with him. Never heard of such a thing. A whole week you didn't have.
It was a choice between a computer and clean socks, so I guess the socks won.
The whole week you had to clean your socks?
Yeah, every day.
It's really amazing. All right. That's the first time. If I was your teacher, I would have you write 1,000 times, I will not clean my socks during shir. Maybe 10,000 times. Anyway.
Been there, done that.
Not 10,000 times. They didn't have enough pencils then.
No, that was chalk on the blackboard. It usually is, I will not throw erasers, but I threw it anyways.
Anyway, that was when you were a good kid. Anyway.
Now, what am I swearing about this time?
Well, it's not swearing. Well, yeah, it is. How'd you figure that out? Wow. We're learning Masechta Shavuos, and you figured that out. You're really brilliant.
Mom ball.
Okay. The Tanan. Nishba levatel es ha-mitzvah, if you swore not to wear tefillin, you swore to abrogate a mitzvah, v'loi bita, and you didn't abrogate the mitzvah, potter, because you're not allowed to swear to negate a mitzvah. That everybody agrees. You can't swear to negate a mitzvah. So if you swore to negate a mitzvah and you did put on tefillin, potter. L'kayim es a mitzvah. If you swore that you will wear tefillin, v'loi kayim, potter. Now over there also, why? Because you have a mitzvah from the Torah to wear tefillin, and then when you swear, so since you're mushba v'ayim b'har Sinai, ain't shvua chalal shvua. So if you swear to uphold the mitzvah and you don't uphold it, potter. But Ben Beseira says, Shehaya bedin she'ei chayiv, it would make sense that you should be chayiv if you swear to uphold the mitzvah and then you don't uphold it. Kedivra Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira, Dam Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira, Uma'im horishus, by something optional, like eating a banana. She'eina mushba le'ma'ar Sinai. If you swear to eat a banana and you don't eat a banana, hari you chayiv aleh? Mitzvah, putting on tefillin. Shemushba le'ma'ar Sinai. Ain't no din if you swear that you're going to put on a tefillin and you don't put on a tefillin. She'e chayiv aleh. That's what Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira argues. Amru loi, so they tell him loi. Im amarta b'shvuas harishus, where you swore to eat a banana. Shekein asa b'lav kehein. We make negative like the positive. You know, it's you could swear not to eat the banana. So therefore, when you swear to eat the banana, and you don't eat it, you're chayiv. Timer b'shvuas mitzvah shekein lo asa b'hem lav kehein. By a shvuas mitzvah, you cannot construct it in the negative. You cannot swear not to wear the tefillin, because we said that's for sure that you can't swear levatel es mitzvah. So since you can't swear levatel es mitzvah, you can't make a shvua to be mekayim the mitzvah. So the Gemara assumes to make a analogy that just like you see that the Rabbanan hold that in order to be able to chayiv with a positive, you have to be able to construct it in the negative. So here too, in order to be chayiv in the past, you have to be able to construct it in the future. So name a Rav Damak Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira who doesn't need this construct. Vishmul Damak Rabbana says no. According to Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira, everybody agrees that you don't need to be able to construct the shvu in the future. If you don't have to construct it both in the negative and the positive, then for sure you don't have to be able to construct it in the future and in the past. Shmuel holds like the Rabbanan, that just like you have to be able to construct it both in the positive and the negative. You also have to be able to construct it both in the past and in the future. V'rav, kiloi mechayvi rabbanon. Where do we say that the rabbanon are not mechayiv if it can't be constructed in the negative? That's b'la v'hein, because that's beferish in the Torah, lahara or lahetiv. Dichsiv lahara or lahetiv, the negative or the positive. That it says behedya. Aval lahaba or l'she'avar, but the future and the past, the miribui the kra asi, that you only learn. How do you know that it's not only the future but also the past as well? Because it says v'nela mimenu. We learned that out from a hint. There, mechayve, there you're chayiv, even if you could only construct it in the past, and you can't construct it in the future, like the example where I swore that Marshall didn't throw the rock or threw the rock, even though you can't construct it in the future, that I swear that Marshall will throw it, it's out of my power, you're still chayiv. So now, here, Marshall, who has to make up for a lot of lost time,
Baruch Hashem, we're not doing Malchus right now.
Baruch Hashem, we're not doing Sanhedrin. Or Croesus. But we'll get there.
Ouch.
We'll get there. Actually, I don't see many people being very happy that you're back, but okay. Look at Shalom. He looks shell-shocked.
I could get this abuse without zooming on tonight.
Yeah, but not from so many people.
I'm happy he's back.
You're happy he's back?
Okay.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Your misery likes company.
Richard, welcome. It's good to have you. If you looked very careful at Richard's box, you would have saw his face for a second until he blanked out. He gives us, flashes of his presence.
Not on Zoom, please.
Oh, don't worry, Marshall. He's not like you. He's fully dressed.
I didn't say it, Barry.
Richard, I apologize for Marshall's behavior, but he was away, and he has to make a bad impression. Okay.
He said it, not me.
Also, we really have to learn for Ilya Shutman's wife. She's very sick. It's Rus Bas Nadia or Nadia Bas Rus? Ruvain, you know? Barry?
It's Rus Bas Nadia.
Rus Bas Nadia. She's very, very sick. Needs a big refuah.
I didn't even know about this until the Rav said it.
Well, what, you have to talk to me. I was the Rav.
Rabbi, we just got a message that she sniffed it.
Oh, God. Oh, Lord.
She was very sick. Her whole body fell apart.
This is from when?
She's been sick for a while.
Just now got the message at 8:52. It says.
When was she even? Didn't even hear anything about it. He's so quiet.
Yeah. Does he still live on Larison Loop?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
I remember when I first met him, I really encouraged him to get involved in the shul. He's going to need a lot of support. gonna need.
Yeah, unfortunate.
He's gonna know he has children at home.
Yeah, I'm saying he has the kids at home.
She's, I think she was the same age as David Winiar's. I think she was 48. That's very sad news.
It is.
You were talking about a family. I don't know if you remember. Does anybody remember when he made a Siyam Hashas by Shalashudas? You remember that, Ruven?
Don't remember.
You don't remember? He made a Siyam Hashas. He made a Siyam Hashas by Shalashudas, and he talked about how he was learning yet in Russia. He's really a remarkable person. He came over from Russia. He beat the odds. I mean, he was behind the Iron Curtain. Wow.
Very smart guy, Rabbi Weiss.
Very good person. Very good person.
He used to learn the Mishnayos. He was a big mas, but he used to learn all the Mishnayos. He used to win the bid.
Yeah. Well, that bid. You talk about that bid. Remember David Seder and David Winiar's. It went more than the entire Mishnayos. Yeah. We do it by us here also in Fairways. We do that. Yeah.
Right, I'm going weiter.
Irving, does it say any funeral?
To be announced.
To be announced. That's sad news.
It is. It is.
Masiv Rav Amnuna. Let's get back to Marshall's shenanigans. Masiv Rav Amnuna. Lo yachalti hayom. Marshall says, I didn't eat today. V'lo hinachti tefillin hayom. And I didn't put on tefillin today. I was at vacation, Mashbiachani. I said, I put you, Marshall, to oath. V'amar amen. And he says, amen. The din is chayiv. That Marshall is chayiv. So the question is, Bishloima lo yachalti, where he says, I didn't eat. That's Isay b'lo yochel. That's possible in the future. He could swear that I didn't eat because he could swear that I won't eat. Right? So it's constructed both in over and haba. Eloloi anachti, why should it be chayiv if he said I didn't put it on? Mi isei b'lo yaniach. It can't be constructed in the future that I won't put it on because we said that you can't be nishba levatel a mitzvah. So this is a kash on Shmuel who says that it also has to be able to be constructed in the future. So Rav asked this kash on Shmuel, but they answered for each other's opinion, and they played devil's advocate. He asked the question and he answered it. Let's start in Ketani. It's talking about two different chiyuvim. Lo yachalti, if Marshall says I didn't eat, then he's chayiv a karman. Lo hanachti, if he swears that I didn't put on tefillin, if he did it b'mezid, then he gets malchus. Because the din that it has to be able to be constructed both in the positive and in the past and the future is only a din in the carbon oil of Yored. It's not a din in malchus. Masav Rava, so now Rava asks, Ezui Shvu Hashav. What's considered a vain oath? Barry makes vain oaths. What's considered a vain oath? Nishba l'shana says a yadu l'adam. If he holds up a bottle of Coke and he says, this is a bottle of Pepsi, He holds up a Romanian franc, and he says it's a hamburger. So that's a vain oath. You could see Barry doing any of these things. So Ezri Shvur Shav Nishba L'Shanas Es HaYedur L'Adam V'Amar Al Amud Shel Evan, and he says about a pillar of stone, Shehu B'Makom Ploni, a pillar of stone in his backyard, Shehu Shel Zav. V'Amar Ula says that the only time it's considered to change something that's known is V'Ushanika L'Gimel B'nei Adam, where three people saw it was a pillar of stone, and he swears that it's gold. That's a vain oath. Says the Gemara, Taima de Niker. That's only if it's recognized. Haloi Niker, if it's not recognized, then Iver Mishum Shavuos Biti. He's Iver for a oath of utterance. And an oath of utterance, that's, where you chayiv a carbon oil of Yored. So that's a kasha again on Shmuel. Why is he over an oath of utterance if he swears that it's stone and not gold, but it can't be constructed in the future? I swear that it will become Zav. So again, says the Gemara, Hu Ma'isiv Lavu Mefarikla, Niker Iver Mishim Shvur Shav. It's a vain oath. Loi Niker, we're not talking about a Shavuos Bitui, but Iver Mishim Shvur Sheker. He would get Malchus for a false oath. Now, Amar Abaya, Umayde Rav ba'Omer leChaveiro, Rav admits where Marshall says to his friend, who would that be? Doesn't have a friend.
That's a hard one.
Okay, Marshall says to his car.
Now my car's swearing too.
Ba'Omer leChaveiro, he tells his wife likes him, he tells to his wife, Shvua sha'ani yoidea lecha edus, I swear that I know on your behalf testimony, v'ishtakach delo yada, and it's discovered that he didn't know, he's not chayav a karban. In such a case, the potter. Not why? Because remember, there's only a question whether it has to be able to be constructed in the past and in the future. But everybody agrees that it has to be able to be constructed in the negative and the positive. Here, it can't be constructed in the negative, because in the negative, it would be, he swore, I don't know on your behalf testimony. I don't know on your behalf testimony is not a Shavuos Bitui. That Shavuos Ha'edus, that's a Shavuos about testimony, and it could only be done in Bezdin. Since it's not possible to be constructed in that I don't know about Yuedus, because I don't know about Yuedus, that's not a Shavuos Bitui, that's a Shavuos Ha'edus. So since this can't be constructed both in the positive and in the negative, even Rav agrees that he's not chayav. Yodati v'lo yodati. Now here, in second, this is talk. Right. This is First I was going to say it's not talking about testimony at all. Taisa says it could be talking about testimony, but it's talking about testimony that's not needed. Look at the fourth Taisvus. Yadati v'lo yadati, lav hainu shvuos eidus. The Mayri kegoin she'en et tzarech achshav lo yiseidus. We don't know about. We don't need this testimony now. The case was resolved already. So this is just stamazai that he swears I know, or he swears that I don't know. He could do that. So the question though is you can't swear that I will know or I won't know, because that's not something that's in your control. So here is a perfect example of something that could only be constructed in the past and not in the future. So that's machlokes. That's a machlokes between Rav and Shmuel. Rav, who says that it's chal even though it can't be constructed in the future, it's chal. Shmuel, who says it has to be able to be constructed in the future, yapater. Also, heyaditi, I gave testimony. Or v'lo heyaditi, I didn't give testimony. Also machlokes, because you can't construct that in the future that I will know, or I will know to testify, or I won't know to testify. That you can't do. Not because it's interesting. Not because you can't swear I will testify or I won't testify, because I won't testify when there's a testimony is nishba levatel as a mitzvah, which is not chal. I will testify when you have to testify is to be nishba l'kayim as a mitzvah, which is not chal, because ain't shvur chal ala shvur. So it can't be constructed in the future, but it can be constructed in the past. That's a machlokes between Rav and Shmuel. So now, the Gemara says one offshoot of this. The Torah makes a special category of Shavuos Daf, that you could swear that, a person could swear that I don't know testimony. Right? So Bishleim l'Shmuel, da Amar Milsa da Leisei Ba'al Haba. It's good according to Shmuel that something that can't be constructed in the future, Loi Mechayev Alei L'Sha'avar, you can't be chayev in the past. Lahachi Apka Rachmanu L'Shvuos Eidus Mechlal. Therefore, that's why the Torah says that Shavuos Eidus is an exception, that you could swear shvua that I didn't know testimony, even though it can't be constructed in the future that I will know testimony. Elul Rav, who says that it doesn't also have to be constructed in the future, Lamai Hilchasa Apke Rachmana, then why did the Torah have to specifically teach about Shavuos Eidus, an oath about testimony? Amru Rabbana Kamei D'Abaya L'Chayuve Alei Tarte, to be mechayev you that if you swear that you don't know testimony, you're chayev for an oath of utterance and also for an oath about Eidus. To be chayev you two separate karbanas. Amalahu, so he says that can't be. Tarte loy matzisu amrisu, you can't say that you're chayev two karbanas, because Tanya la'achas me'ela, for one of these, la'achas atam mechayev, you only chayev one, v'yatam mechayev shtayim. So then taka ulabaya, according to Rav, why ma'ilchasa apke rachmana, why did the Torah specifically mention Shavuos Eidus? The Kedisanya, it's coming to tell you that if Marshall swears willfully that he doesn't know testimony, and he really does, even though he's amazed, he could be chayiv a korban. Now normally with amazed, you're not chayiv a korban. And the chiddush is Shavuos Eidus is you're chayiv a korban, even though he's a willful crook. Stand there, Marshall. I could take a picture. Perfect for the post office. Now, says the Gemara, Labaya l'may hilchas ha'apkei rachmana, l'kidisanya b'chulan nema v'nelam, that he was unaware. V'kan loy nema v'nelam, l'chayiv al amazid k'shogeg, to make him chayiv even if it's willful. Even if he swears that he didn't know testimony and he willfully swore falsely, he's chayiv the carbon. Says the Gemara, let's say that if he deliberately swore falsely, he's chayiv one carbon. If he does shogeg, he's chayiv two. Says the Gemara, you can't say that. Isn't that what we said? La'achas. Achas ata mechayiv. You only chayiv him one. V'yata mechayiv shtayim. V'iba mezid, and if it's willful, mi'ikatarte, there wouldn't be two, because you're not chayiv mezid for a shvuas bitui. It's coming to tell you that if it was willful, you're only chayiv one for shvuas edus, and not chayiv for a second one. You're not chayiv for shvuas bitui. We're going to stop.
I only need to be makriv one hot dog?
We're going to be makriv you. Rabbi say we're going to stop over here, and we thank you. This is a very, very difficult piece of Gemara. Thank you for standing in with us.